Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Totem Podcast. Here, my co-host Erick, and today we have a special guest for you guys. He came in all the way from Aguascalientes, flew him in. And Vic, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. Glad to be here. Glad you guys are doing this podcast. You know, I'm glad there's something here locally, and glad it's you guys.
Yeah, welcome back to the United States.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Glad to see my family, my hometown, and it's perfect with this weather now. So yeah.
Yeah, today's weather is perfect. Nice.
Yeah.
So you're in Mexico. You're down in Mexico. Tell me a little bit how that's been. What have you been doing? What have you been doing down there? And stuff?
Right. So about like 4 years and a half, close to 5, took a radical decision to go to college over there. Okay. It was one of the best decisions I've ever had. And I don't regret it. I'm loving it ever since.
Ballsy to go all the way across.
A little bit ballsy, huh? Yeah.
To go across another country, a different language.
Yep. Being Mexican American, you know Spanish, but you don't know the proper Spanish, and that's something I had to get used to, and I got the gist of now. So, yep.
So why'd you decide to go over there instead of like somewhere here local that you're more familiar with?
I was going to local school. I had my apartment. I had my roommates. I was signed up for school, and a week before school, I was like, "Do I really want this? Do I really want to go here?" And at that point, I was being honest with myself, and I didn't want it. So I took the first ballsy decision to take a year off, a sabbatical. So, kind of going against the grain, you know, against society, saying, "Oh, this guy's not gonna go to college for a year. He's never gonna go again," or whatever. So I didn't really care. But what made me go to Mexico? Mainly, it was two things really. My main goal was to get my parents to retire. I thought maybe if I go there, they'd follow soon, right? That didn't work out, but it's okay. Yeah, they love visiting me, and I love when they visit me. You know, it's one of the best years of my life, and honestly, because I found really good schools, really good programs, and I wanted to study international business, and I found a good school for that. So that's why. Yep.
What college do you attend?
It's UVM, Universidad del Valle de Mexico. It's the biggest college in all of Mexico. There's 32 campuses. So I go to Campus Aguascalientes. Okay. Campus Aguascalientes.
So is it kind of like the CU system? They have Boulder and Denver.
Yep.
And
That's exactly how it is. Boulder, Denver, but they have 32.
That's just a lot.
A little bit more, right?
It's pretty big school.
How much students do they know about? Like an average? About, I guess, because it's pretty hard.
The good thing about us, they do focus. Well, maybe because it's a small city, right? We do have a small class. My class is about 50, like my whole graduating class. Yeah, okay. So this school, it's a private school. They do give you like one-on-one time and everything you need. That's also why I like this school. Yeah.
It's good, yep. Dude. What do you think about all this? Because you said you're doing international business.
International business.
What made you go into that? Like, what made you? Because you said you didn't want to go to your college where you had everything ready and stuff. I don't know what you were going to study there, but what made you like go way over there and then do business?
So if I want to do international business, I want the international experience, right?
Yeah, you got to. You got
to.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's like the best explanation, honestly. So I'm gonna do international business. I go over there, and I think maybe I can make connections or whatever, make network with good friends, and it's worked. You know, I've met people in all realms of business now. So, yep.
So do you think that's something that someone should always, or something not like always do, but especially someone who's going to like international business to go study somewhere else if they can?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it is international. How are you going to get the international feel when you stay here? You have to get the whole gist of it and see it all, the whole program right to you know, that's what you're going to study. You should get the whole experience, I feel like. So
do you think that just like when it comes to like in the future, like maybe like competing for jobs or something, do you think that's something that sets you apart from everybody else?
You know, it might.
The resume.
Yeah, a little on the LinkedIn, huh? It might. Yeah, it might. A lot of people do look like that internationality or nowadays, being bilingual, that's big.
huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
How's it down there? Because we have families, a couple cousins down there and stuff.
Okay.
And I mean, they a lot of people in Mexico now, a lot of people, they know English.
They know English,
So
right?
how does that?
Yeah, so their school system, just much like ours, but ours starts usually middle school or high school where you learn a second language. They learn their second language, which is English, since grade school. So that's why they know English. And
Or do you think it has something to do with also maybe, it's not dogging on teachers, but like maybe the experience teachers have? Because all over there, you hear like the kids, they learn English. But
Right.
here you don't really hear the people, they learn Spanish, really, They just
Yeah.
kind of do it half-assed just to get
it's
get
just
by.
it's a credit.
That's pretty
It's
much
just a
it,
credit. Yeah, so I felt bad in high school when I took Spanish just to get by, right? And they do it because it's really important in life, for them to have Spanish and English, because English is one of the most common languages. It's a language of business. So if you're gonna do business, that's language. That's what you need to know. And I feel like that's why they do train hard or educate them on English.
Do you think the students and stuff, like the people that go there, do you think they appreciate it a little bit more?
They do,
Or-
and honestly, they don't just learn it from school, right? Because a lot of them, all of our pop culture, movies, everything,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of them is English. All the artists, so
That's true.
they do listen to the English music. Yeah, I have a lot of my friends that they listen to English music, and that's where they learn a lot, and movies and stuff like that. And most of them, like you said, they have family over here, so they talk to their cousins. They come over here, they visit, so that's also why they learn.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like they do take it a little more
Yeah.
seriously because over here, I remember in high school I took German, and
Yeah.
that was the easiest class
Yeah,
ever
but
to
I
take.
took one semester,
Yeah.
and I wanted a little bit easier, so I went to Spanish. So
Just looking for the easier thing.
the easy route. Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember, like, because we would go visit like family and stuff, and like our cousins and stuff, they'd bring their homework home and like ask us
Yeah,
stuff, and I
they
was like,
get
oh
into
shit,
it.
they're actually like,
Yeah.
into it and actually
Yeah,
trying to
they're into
learn.
it. Yeah, so one of my mom's clients in Mexico has 2 daughters, and I'm super surprised because they're about like 3 and 6, and the mom will call me sometimes to go over and help them with the homework, and I'm like, wow, these little girls know so much English for their age.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's crazy. So I'm like, wow.
And
like,
they just
teach them.
They just soak it up when they're young too, like a sponge.
Yep,
So
they
it's
do.
easier.
So that's always good that they do teach them since like that age. So.
That's crazy. So how's the different lifestyle over there? I guess compared to over here. Like I mean, because you're in college, but I mean you still see there's different lifestyles.
Yeah, it has its pros and cons. For me, it's probably just pros. I love it over there. Lifestyle wise, it's totally different. Everything is different, From being able to see like a little corner store, grocery store, and that's where you go. Here, you just go to big box stores like Walmart, all that. You don't have nothing small. How people act, they're so relaxed, laid back, and here like you're fast paced.
You got
You're
tension,
always
huh?
on the clock, checking your clock, and yeah, you got tension. You're so stressed. It's that. Oh, they're usually laid back.
What's like your favorite like thing about there comparing it to over here?
Favorite thing over there is the people. It's the people. I wouldn't be over there if it wasn't the friends that I made, or else I'd be back here. The friends that I made, they're so laid back. Like I said, I found a lot of like-minded people, so that's also why I like it. A lot of we were talking about this earlier or yesterday, last night. A lot of first generation business people, so they still got that hustle mindset. They don't like
Got the chip on the shoulder.
yeah, they got the chip on the shoulder, something that makes them keep going. So, yep, that's
That's good.
Yep, that's what I love.
So is that probably one of the best things you think you've learned from college? That your networks or what?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So it's not really just I feel like the thing the number one thing I can take in, the most important thing is probably just your network. That's
Network is
Yep.
net worth.
network is your
Yeah,
net worth.
I can second that. Going to
Yeah,
college over
so
there.
I think that's the most important thing that this college experience is giving me.
That's good. How many more years do you have, or months, or whatever? till you're
So
done to get your degrees.
yeah, so over there it's 4 years and a half for my degree. I study international business, and up in what was it, like a year and a half, I decided to double major. I go to Walden University from Minnesota, and I still have about a year and a half over there. So in December, I graduate from Mexico school, UVM, and a year and a half for my Walden University degree.
What made you try to get that degree over there?
The internationality. So, you have a degree here, you have a degree there. There's no excuses. It just looks better. That's mainly why.
How hard is that now? Because it's like two different colleges.
Yeah,
people can't even like survive
Two
on
different
one.
languages too.
I know.
Two different languages, two
it
different
mixes it in, and
schools.
then schedules, and then now with work, so I have to handle those two schools and then work. It's hard. It's hard, but you just got to get it done.
Is it all like online?
Now it's online. Since this whole pandemic started, it's online.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I think that helps me with my schedule, right? You don't have to be there
for sure.
physically now, but yeah. Yep.
That's pretty
You're
good.
pretty much in class while you're at work. So
Yeah,
it's like, there you
that's
go.
a good thing. You got good bosses that let me do class while I'm at work,
That's
so
good. Shout
it
out
works
to
out.
shout out to the boss.
shout out Dallas and John. Shout out Dallas and John.
No, that's good. Dude.
Yep.
So let's take a step back because you said you took a sabbatical year.
Yeah,
What'd you do during that year?
I took sabbatical. So the reason I didn't go here, right, is because I wasn't right in my mindfully, so I needed to take a step back in myself and see what I actually wanted. So I feel like I need to humble myself and get grounded first before doing anything.
What made you do that? Because I mean, people everyone says oh yeah, so I just realized this, but it's fuck, people don't just
that whole
people just
year,
don't do that on their own. It's hard.
I wanted to know, do I want to go to school or do I want to work? Or do I want to find another career or something around the lines? So I worked a couple different jobs, mostly labor jobs, the famous Cargill University.
There you go.
I tried out Cargill University. And
Cargill, not Cardone.
Yeah.
Cargill.
Yep.
Cargill.
So, Cargill University. And I didn't like that. So every day that I was working, I was like, I'm going to go to college.
Yeah. But what do you remember the day you were just sitting there when you were going to college and you're just were you just sitting there by yourself, or did you have a conversation with somebody that said hey, I don't know if I really want this?
This was actually
a
week before college started. So I had signed my lease, apartment, and everything. That was.
Were you just sitting there by
It couldn't
yourself?
It couldn't get any realer. I signed my apartment lease. I was like, oh, can I find somebody to at least take over? Am I gonna seriously gonna drop out already? I was like, yeah, I think the moment was I was just at home thinking, and I was like, is this really what I want? I talked to my mom, and she.
How were they? Did they support you, or were they kind of
No, they give me a
controversy?
support system 100%. That whole year I had to take we take ACTs here in the Midwest. My school, we needed the SAT. They go by that system, so I took the SAT throughout that year, that sabbatical. But they supported me fully the whole way, and they still do.
Oh, that's good.
Do you think more people should kind of do that after high school, take a year off? Actually,
definitely.
Get
They
to know
should,
themselves.
because sometimes they're not ready to go to school, and we all party, but sometimes somebody might party too hard and they're not gonna take school serious, right?
But-
they don't know what they want. And
Yeah, but do you
they
think
let other distractions get in the way.
do you think it can be a double-bladed knife? Because a lot of people do that, and
they
let's
don't
be
go
for
back.
real, you had the dedication, I guess, to go through.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? At the end of the day. So if it was meant to be for them, they would go back, or they would go to school, or they would go since the hop since the beginning. I feel like, it's destination, what you got to do, or sometimes if you want to do something, you just, like you said, you got to hustle it out, dedication.
Gotta get it.
Yeah.
Because I've known a lot of people who they're like, oh yeah, I'll take a year off or whatever, and they just never go back.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
a
all
lot
I'm
of people
saying
use
is-
it as an excuse.
So, like you said,
ballsy
I
move
need
just
to
to
find
that.
it was a
myself.
ballsy move, but it was a promise I made myself too. I made myself that promise. It was 1 year off, and I'm gonna go back.
It's you're not gonna let
Because
somebody else that is like you.
Not only I owe myself this, right? I owe my parents this. They grinded it out this much, and that's one of their dreams for me to go to school. So, you gotta. Yeah, I gotta grind it for the parents.
That's a lot of discipline to do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it gets too distracting when you make more money than you would going to school and stuff.
We talked about this, right?
Yeah.
A lot of my friends didn't go to school. Some of my best friends did go to school, but a lot of them didn't, and it made me second guess when I would see them, working one of our top industries here, the oil and gas. seeing them work and like getting their houses, getting their trucks. I was like, I feel like I was behind them.
See, that's the thing. People feel like sometimes it's a race.
Yeah, it's a race.
Like,
it's a rat
shit,
race. So I was
behind.
like, I'm not. I thought I was behind. I'm going to college. I don't make much income just when I work in summers. And that's what I felt. But
gotta grind it out.
yeah, yep. But
Definitely
it was
rough.
definitely the right decision. And now I've learned not to compare to myself because there's no point. Like you're your own self, and it's God's timing. Like things happens when you need it to, and that's how it'll be.
So I heard a good quote. It's from Stephen Furtick. He's a preacher, but he talks about, he's like, the problem with people nowadays is that people are trying to build a puzzle, their own puzzle with other people's puzzle pieces. So it's like, that's what it like.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't this fit? It's like, because that's not for you. It's not meant to be for you.
Right.
You got to learn that it's not for you, and
you
go out
can't
and find your
force
own
something.
pieces.
You do your own thing, and that's how it's gonna be. You can't force something. If you don't like something, you can't force something that's frowned upon like in society. Like you can't force something if you don't like it. You have to be you and be true. Because at the end of the day, like you only have yourself, and that you're gonna be happy. You're happy. If not, then you're gonna just be trying to impress other people.
Yeah, but that's the person you go to sleep with and you wake up with is yourself. That motherfucker ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, so it's like.
Were you like always like that? Like
no.
or did you have to like kind of just learn
I was
that
never like
little
this.
by little?
I was an introvert. I still am to a certain point. I see it day to day. I'm still an introvert, but I've grown to be this person. I'm forced to be this person because it's who I want to be. So, it takes time. Little baby steps to be who I am now. I wasn't always like this.
Like ET says, you gotta fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah. There you go. Yep.
What's the? You said you were like you're always more introverted and stuff.
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? Like not just you, just like in general for people. Do you think it's the way you're brought up? Because sometimes you're like.
It can be, yes. It can be your upcoming, but it's just
your personality.
It's just your personality. But deep down, I knew like I want to socialize more. I don't want to be scared like going out there and doing stuff like this. I don't want to be scared talking to people. I don't want to be scared of having the first initiative. A lot of people are scared for that, so they won't go out and do something like by themselves.
Yeah, like I was like an introvert too. And
yeah.
Kind of like, I feel like it also has to do with like your surroundings.
Yeah, it might
too,
be
a lot. Like, because like I'd hang out with like the athletes and stuff, and they'd all be all loud and yelling and stuff, and I'd be like, just over
so
here
I
in the
can tell
corner,
my
like
friends, they're a little bit loud and stuff. So, but I'm like the one that's a little bit more calm. But sometimes that changes. Just depends. Yeah, it depends on the night.
Yeah, see, one of the things like with that, like, I think it kind of just like develops, kind of like. Yeah, it's kind of your personality, but it kind of develops because. I mean,
yeah, it develops over time. It's little steps. It takes time. Like maybe little by little, you do one other thing, another day you do another thing, and at the end of the day, you look back and you're like, damn, I'm doing this. Yeah.
Just being consistent every day, doing a little bit.
Yep.
And over a big period of time, you can actually.
Yeah, you make the change.
Yep.
It's the compound effect. Little by little, and at the end, it's it grows big. It's a snowball effect. In other words, the snowball effect. It's small, it goes to big. Consistency. Yep.
Oh, that's good. So you said you're going to school and then you're working and stuff. So what do you do? What do you do for work?
Yeah. So just recently, I took up a job offer here, a local job offer here at Erick Toyota East, and at the CDJR store. So, just recently, I got hired as a sales consultant. Yeah.
You just had to come over here because it was going to be like a higher pay than staying over there in Mexico, or is it because family's over here too?
My plan was never to work over there, like for somebody. If I was going to do something, it would be for myself with business, do something that I like. Not for the money. I came back here because of online classes. I could be with my family, so it just worked out. Things worked out, and I'm glad they worked out how they are, so. Something that I like, and it's a good building stone for the skill sets that I want to acquire.
Why sales? Because usually people you hear sales and they're like, they kind of like frown upon you because they're like
Yeah,
sales. Oh, he's just a car salesman, or
Yeah.
he's just this. Like, sales is one of the most frowned. I think.
upon. It's frowned upon. A lot of people think you're a bad person. This that. Sales is I think one of the hardest because you have to have a lot of self development. Like you can't sell something without selling yourself. You know, like you have to be confident, do this, do that, and know your kind of know your product and sell that. You know, sales is something I've always liked. It's always been around in my family. I remember as a kid, like my mom would sell things. You know, the Mexican hustle.
Yeah, you're always
and
just watching
at first
it.
I was like embarrassed. You know, mom going out and selling this, that. But over the years, I was like, why am I embarrassed? You know, embarrassed when making money. So I've learned to sell. So anything, you know, me and my mom, we do the same sales right now, out of my line of work. So it's always been around, and it's something I like. It's a good skill set to have. Because whether you like, whether you know or not, you use sales every day. You sell yourself every day. You sell yourself every day.
That's why most of this sounds fucked up, but that's why people they're getting paid minimum wage because that's how good they were at selling themselves to the job.
You sell yourself every day. You know, if you prepare yourself more.
But don't tell people that because then they get fucking butthurt.
Yeah.
Straight up, dude.
Yeah.
It's exactly because I'm reading Grant Cardone's book, Sell or Be Sold, right now.
Oh, okay.
And he talks about that step by step, how to sell yourself.
Yeah, you got to sell yourself. You sell yourself every day. You know, it starts with yourself, your personality, your attitude, maybe sometimes with your appearance, stuff like that.
A lot of it has to do with appearance.
It
Because
does.
that's the first thing people even see about
That's
you.
what they see about you.
If you're ugly, people are probably not going to talk to you.
Sadly, yeah.
Sadly.
Salesman, you kind of do.
You could have the greatest personality in the world, but if you look ugly, people are not going to come up to you and talk to you.
Yep, unless you're a great salesman and you sell yourself good, right?
You better be, if you're ugly, you better be a good salesman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I got a question for you guys.
What's going on?
I don't know if people have asked you guys questions, but why did you guys start this podcast, you know? Where did this come from?
Yeah, well, like, I think we both listen to, like, a lot of podcasts.
Right.
And a lot of people just share their information. Or over the past few years, we've been learning a lot of information as well. And we just wanted to have a platform to be able to just teach other people what, like, we've heard and stuff. And we also just want to talk to, like, cool people in the community, some people who also want to share their story and don't have that platform.
Yeah.
And just have, like,
give
somewhere...
them a voice.
Yeah, somewhere to give them a voice and be heard.
Right. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and in all aspects of life, like people think of it as just like money wise, or job or sales. Like no, it's like
Life.
It's like life, like your
just
physical, how you work out, like your health, your eating, your emotional side. You know,
Yeah,
because
that's one of the most important
people
ones.
don't pay attention to
Because
that.
if you're not there emotionally, you just won't. You won't show up like in real life. You know.
Yeah.
You have to be right up there to be
So it's pretty much just that. Be able to get people like you kind of explain kind of like your story, what like kind of the stuff that you've lived, your experiences.
Yeah.
And people, it's like we're talking about the pick and choose. Like
Yeah, you
they
pick and choose.
can choose it. They like, hey, that
you know,
sounds pretty good. I'm gonna try it.
I'm not a perfect example or anything, but maybe there's like a little thing that they like from me. You know, they can pick and choose. That's what I do from everybody. I pick and choose the things that I like, and the rest, you know, you just discard. Just pick and choose.
Yeah.
And you build your own self.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of business owners and stuff like around here, or just people in general, like that they've had a struggle. I mean, people that came from other countries and stuff, like, and I think it's good and a good way to like motivate other people. Also, like
show
like,
them.
Hey, I struggled too, and I fucking got through it. And
if I can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah, that's always good. Seeing somebody that struggled and they came up.
Yeah,
that's always good.
Because people sometimes only see like the bow tie, the success story.
Yeah,
they don't see the whole
road and everything that they went through to get to the.
No one wants to get the shovel to dig the road, so it's like, and everyone just wants the easy way.
Yep.
Like, but
I think
a lot of that has to.
I think I shared something on Facebook today. It was, everybody congratulates you at the end, but nobody shows up during the road or something.
I seen that at the auditorium.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. That's how pretty much it is, you know.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's like a smaller town and people don't really get that like other.
That could be it. Just
ways
a
of life.
little bit of thing of mentality or something, lifestyle here. But yeah, that could be very much it. Just small town.
Yeah, because there can be some people that they don't need anything. Like, they can just find motivation within themselves and just start going. And then there's other people's like
Just
they
need a
need
little bit of
something.
push or
Yeah,
something.
they need a little
And
push
that's
to get
how I
going.
am, you know. That's okay. That's how I am. There's no shame in the game.
And that,
As long as you do like look for, you know,
look for another way.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's like there's not just like one recipe to get through. There is no recipe. There is no recipe.
It's like your own
There's
personal.
a lot.
You
There's a
create
lot of
your
ways
own.
to do.
Yep. Because you might do the same exact thing that somebody did to be successful, and it's not gonna work for you. You know.
Yeah.
You just make your own road.
So just like listening to other people, and this worked for them. Okay, let me take this little piece, and then
Yeah.
this other little piece from this
Yeah,
guy also
everybody-
works.
yep.
So it's like
Yeah,
we were talking about early, making your own puzzle.
Yeah, you don't gotta like everything they say, but maybe you like the little piece of the puzzle, right? Not the whole picture, but just a little piece of the puzzle, and just pick and choose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good night.
It's
It's
a
a really
beautiful
good night,
night,
yeah.
dude. It's
Yeah.
getting nice out here.
Yeah, here in Colorado. I love it.
Colorado.
I love Colorado. You know, all my friends over there, they know I'm from Colorado, and they
Have they
know
ever
how
came
much
down
I
here or
love
no?
it. They haven't, and they all want to come. I always invite them. I always tell them that my house is your house. You know, I hope they come visit this summer. We'll see about that.
A ver si se animan.
A ver si se animan.
Do you like Colorado, or do you see yourself moving out of the state, or do you just want to stay here?
I'm not opposed to moving out, but I love Colorado. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love Colorado. We have a lot of good stuff over here, a lot of good people, a lot of good places to live, a lot of good places to eat, a lot of variety, a lot of like ethnicities. I love it. I could move out, but you know, it's one of those things that just, if it happens, it happens.
You pretty much have a good winter, and then you have a good.
A really
You
good
can have a good summer. So
Yep.
it's like you get a little bit of everything. You
Yeah,
got
you got-
mountains, you got flat.
Yeah, you got mountains, you got flat, you got your prairie, you got everything.
You got a little bit of everything all in one
Yep,
state, which
yep.
is
We get
This
all
is
the
pretty cool.
seasons. We know that you can get all seasons in one day sometimes.
There you go.
that's what's making a lot of people come over here from other states and stuff.
You're driving prices up, huh? Good for you guys that are homeowners. Get those prices up. Get some good equity.
Get it rolling.
Man, I wish I had a house.
How do you think it is? You think if everybody has the same? Because not everybody that has that same tools gets the same results.
Right.
Like people say, like college.
We can
you can
go
go to the
both
same
go
college,
to school and you won't do anything
You won't
with
do
it,
shit,
or
yeah.
you won't do in
or
other
people
words,
that
you
do
shit.
businesses. Like, what's your thought on that?
It's okay, you know. At the end of the day, like, you cannot go to college and still be a businessman. You don't need to go to college to be a businessman. You really don't. I went for other reasons, not because I thought, I'm gonna get a job just because I have the degree. That wasn't my mind. It was just learning and mostly the networking and the experience. The biggest thing was the experience. You know, college for me was just the experience.
Do you think? Because I mean, colleges are expensive. Do you think if somebody goes through a college, the college should be somewhat held accountable for the people not
College is
expensive
now.
getting their
Yeah.
like? Hey, these guys came to college and
Yeah, it's
they didn't
crazy
graduate or they
seeing
couldn't
some
get a
people
job with it. Like,
get,
I'm not just
yeah.
in Mexico, but it's like here too. It's
Anywhere,
like,
yeah.
do
Yeah,
you
a
think
lot
they
of
should be
these-
held accountable
A lot
for
of
stuff?
colleges have like those programs.
Ultimately, it's the people's decision, right? They should be more educated on that. Like, see their ROA, return over investment. Okay, let's say I'm paying, let's say you're paying 20 a year, 20,000 a year, 20, 40, 60, 80. That's 80 a degree. Do your ROI, return over investment. Let's see. Well, after certain years, how many years will it take till I make my money back? You know, I feel like people should run those numbers first and like see if they actually want. So I don't think they should be accountable. At the end of the day, it's their decision.
That's kind of the problem though, because a lot of people, you said
I
ROI,
feel like here in high
people
school
but
they don't educate on you. They just feel like college is the only answer. College is the only way.
the thing is,
That's
like you
exactly
said,
And
what they
it's
say.
not the only way. It shouldn't be the only way. And
because you say like college is like kind of like you should run the numbers, get an ROI and stuff, but it's like ROI, like
Well,
people
it's
don't
not
even know. People
what
don't
is
even know
an
what the fuck
ROI?
that means. Like, I mean,
that's going
like,
back to like just education, right?
But yeah,
That's
yeah.
just going back. Like we should know these
So
stuff
do you think
already.
do you think there's kind of a little problem with the system? I guess
There is because there's a lot of important stuff that we should have been taught instead of life and activities, instead of
like
other,
what? Like give me a couple
taxes.
examples.
You know, understanding your basic tax system. You know, another one should be maybe learning all these. You know, they had that class, all the computer programs. They'll be learning nowadays. It's more important. Maybe marketing, like marketing yourself, marketing your business, whatever. maybe using platforms, all the platforms.
Do you think stuff like that would be required though? Because then we kind of go back to the same
No,
thing.
not required,
like when you go
but
to
I feel
college,
like you can pick like in college, you pick the classes that you like. I feel like that should be, it should be an option. Like pick the classes that you like.
but,
And then
but
if you
then
don't
put
like
them
them, switch.
But then you put them in high school, and then it's the same shit. People are like, "Fuck that! It's too hard. I ain't taking that." Or we're taking like the Spanish class, the easiest thing, you know?
Yeah, it can be true, but you know, at the end of it, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if you just start the class, you know, you might like it. Like you're going for business, right? And you took a digital. What was your?
It was like an intro to film.
Yeah, intro to filming,
class.
and you like that class, and you kept going that route instead of the business route. If you get introduced to like a lot of things, and like you'll pick the one that you like the most, and if you pick and do what you like the most, you're most likely, you know, you're to be great.
So do you think it should be like a requirement for like high school to take a variety of like different classes in different fields?
Instead of just having like English class, you have to take this 4 year like.
For your English class.
Because most of us like we all went through there. Like your senior years, it's a fucking joke. Like you just take dumb classes.
The easiest classes just to get by, finish your credits. Yeah, that I feel like that year should be one of the years that you like pick the like important classes. You know,
Where we start going
classes.
even like take that next step
The
to go
next
harder.
step, yeah, like maybe learning taxes, maybe learning a little about real estate, how to buy a house or stuff like that. Like
Just simple
how
stuff.
yeah, simple stuff, but it's not simple because nobody knows how to do them. You know.
Yeah. Well, like it's kind of for both of you, because like you're 17, 18 or whatever, and they tell you like, what do you want to be? Where do you want to go to college? What do you want? They want you to have everything figured out. Whereas like you see like really like history of a lot of people like, and like
See, that's
I
the
mean
thing about
there's
business,
a lot
right?
that have been
business,
the older guys. When
Business
they
spectrum
start.
is wide. Like in business, you can do anything. Like
That's exactly why I
it's
stepped in
wide.
business.
So like they would always ask me, my parents, what type of jobs can you get? I'm like, I didn't know how to answer, but the real thing is that it's wide. You can do anything.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I want to do with my life, but
Yeah.
it's like I want to own my own business, so maybe a business degree
Yeah.
might help.
So it could tie in with what you're doing now and whatever. But you shouldn't know what you're gonna do at 18. Maybe somebody already does know like what they're gonna do at 18,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they
Or
just
before,
have
right?
Yeah,
You know,
maybe they just know, right? But I personally didn't know. I've changed through careers like at least through 10, I think. Even through this year, I've changed to like 3. Like you shouldn't know.
What three did you have?
I like real estate, so
Okay.
I've thought about getting my mortgage loan originator's license, something that most people don't even know about. Doing other things just in real estate, and now this career that I got into was this car sales, right? Really good.
Oh, that's good. But it's like to you, Eric, too, like, because you said, like, you wanted to own your own business. But I feel like not everybody should be a business owner, because there's a lot of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, they're good at their job, but not how to.
You're a good employee.
Yep.
You're a good employer.
Like that. So what do you...
Yeah, that's
to
true.
elaborate
Yeah,
a little bit
it's
on it,
true.
like,
Not everybody is a leader. Like, not everybody knows how to lead, manage a team, or,
Because like we had like our dad, I guess, is like first person example. He had his own business. He didn't go to school or anything. So I was like, if I my thing was like if I go to school, like maybe learn a couple things he doesn't know and be able to like help grow the business or something.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when you go there, you just have to take all these bullshit ass classes that don't really relate
that
to
won't
the
help
to
you
the
with
major.
the actual business. Or
That's one thing like
whatever.
I haven't understood about like college is it's supposed to go so you can specialize in your career.
Yeah.
But yet you're a business major and you're taking some other like random classes like.
So is it better to shadow, you think? Well,
Yeah,
what
that's
do you
always
guys
good.
think?
So,
to shadow or
yeah.
to both?
Both. I think both. I didn't know about like mentoring and stuff like that till I reached out to somebody and like they teach you like how it really is the business, so you can see if you really like the business, so you can go into it. You're not gonna waste time and like waste time on college and on something that you don't like. It's always good to shadow. I think it's always good to shadow.
Shadow before you go to college,
Yeah.
you think? Like,
Did
do
you
have
ever
an
shadow
idea?
like in welding?
No,
No,
I went in head first.
What?
Going.
Usually people, they fucking say you got to be like a helper and stuff before and learn the thing. I was just like,
Just went into it.
That's what I.
And
that's
I mean,
what
it was
I'm
hard.
like.
It was
Yeah,
fucking
it
hard
was
because
hard,
you go and you really don't know how. You don't really know it. I know how to weld, but there's way more stuff that goes
Yeah,
to it. So
yeah.
it's like,
It's like a CWI. Most of them don't even know how to weld, but they're inspecting the welds.
yeah. So it's just like you're gonna tell me how to weld, but you don't know how to weld. So it's like,
yeah, because they're looking at certain things, you
Yeah.
know, just like you don't have to be a welder helper to be a welder.
Yeah, I'd say it's good to do both as well, because like I went to college and stuff, kind of found out what I wanted to do, and then I was also fortunate enough to get a job with media services
Nice.
on campus. So they do like all kinds of commercials for the school and do like live sports events and all
Right.
that stuff. And that's kind of like my like shadow.
You
Like I
find
got
it-
paid a shadow, but it
Yeah.
was like a
It was
really good learning
really
experience.
good.
You get that
Were
real
they-
world.
Were they pretty good though? Because I mean, it's still with the college. We go back to the same thing. Like if they're doing that, why wouldn't that just be their college course?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just
Right.
fucking shadow instead of
That's
instead
true.
of doing like the actual
Yeah.
coursework and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
what is it? You think
Yep.
it's a double
That's
bonus
where
for
it goes
them?
into like technical and trades, because they teach you like on the job or like practicing. That their school is basically practicing, right? Like how you're just practicing, making the videos or making the promos for the school and do that. Trade schools are a good option.
I feel like it's also important to learn from someone who's actually done something in
Done the
that
job,
field.
yeah.
Because one of like the like department heads in like our department, he actually like worked. His parents like had their own like production company,
Yeah.
and he like had that real world experience.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to like get out of where he was at, and he came over here and he found a job with the school.
The school.
But he actually like went
He
out
worked in the field
and did
yeah,
it.
he knew what he was
It's
doing.
like listening to other teachers who haven't really done stuff and claim they have, and like listening to people who actually have done stuff
yeah.
and don't like
You can tell the
flaunt what
difference.
they
You see the
supposedly did or didn't do. It's like you can tell a difference. Like
You
you
can
show.
see the competence in the like how they word things or
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Dude, with all this going on, like, so were you? We didn't even kind of get into your childhood. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? How you were brought up? Were you born here? Or
Yeah.
How you were brought up? You know, because it's
Let's take it back. My mom's from Aguascalientes. She came here, I think, when she was 18 or 19. My dad's from Durango. I think we're from the same town, kind
yeah,
of.
Viocampo.
Viocampo, Durango. He came here when he was 11. Pretty young. He did his schooling here, too. He didn't finish high school. He was...
He's the reckless.
yeah, he was
He's
reckless.
Fucking
to
little
say
reckless.
less, but he's built a really good life for us and himself, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, so they just met here, and then I guess I was a product from them. Yeah, I was born here in Morgan.
You're the fastest
yeah.
swimmer.
I was the fastest swimmer. I beat everybody else. Yeah, I was born here in Morgan. I lived here till I was like in 4th grade. Then we moved to Greeley, I think, for 2 years, and after that moved back, and I've been back ever since.
What's
Besides
something?
college.
What's something in your like when you were young that that you could remember that you kind of that you remember? You know that I think you did like a positive impact.
My parents are good. You know, like everybody says, their parents are good parents, right? Yeah. They were pretty affectionate, and like they did, they cared about me, like goals. They were. I see like a lot of people don't talk about like money. Like in my family, like money is open. Like it's open. Like it's not a taboo to talk about money. Like we would always talk about this, that, and like I was always into like financials. Like asking them this, that. And that's one of the things that I liked. It's weird, huh? But that's one of the things that I liked.
That's really weird.
That my parents, we're open like about everything. Like we,
That's good though.
everything,
That's, usually bring out the money topic in a lot of places, and we're like, oh, here we
Yeah.
go.
Or a lot of people like at
again.
the dinner table, you bring up money, is like that's forbidden to talk about.
Yeah, no, we get down and nitty gritty like numbers and everything. Like, okay, this, that, and I guess that's just the way I am now. That's why I'm the way I am now. And they're loving and passionate and everything. My dad's pretty hard worker, like a lot of Mexican dads. Hard worker. He made a lot out of nothing. Like he didn't go to school. He didn't finish high school, so he made a lot out of nothing. That was probably the best memories that I've seen is just seeing him hustle and like always work and stuff like that. Back then I didn't know it, obviously. I thought that was just life. And now you think like you go back and think about it, it's like wow, like, these guys are that's crazy. That's a hustle.
It goes back to kind of like the shadowing thing. You're pretty much shadowing your
Yeah,
dad
you're
the whole
shadowing your parents,
whole
right.
time. You're just like little stuff
Yeah.
to do around the house. Like you don't want to do it. Órale, cabrón.
Yeah,
Cortar la
so-
yarda or whatever. You have to do shit like that. And like
when you move out and like all the things that you took for granted, like the little things, like oh shit, my mom had to do this or my dad did this without even telling me. Like
Yeah.
a lot of small stuff that you take for granted that they do. And now, I I try to do.
You like move away and then
Yeah.
and then for like the first couple weeks might be good and stuff, but then like after a while
Yeah,
you're like fuck, like
what do I
you
do?
feel- what am I
It's
doing?
overwhelmed.
You feel
like,
free for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
you
you think you're free.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat up the whole world, but then it's like.
And then you catch the freshman. What is it?
Reality
Freshman
check.
15, and then
Yeah, you got your
shit.
freshman 15,
Fuck, dude, it's more like freshman 30.
20. In my case, I think freshman 25. I don't know. But yeah.
How was your high school? How was
High school?
How was your experience?
Um,
Were you like the good kid, nice kid, like your
I think I was.
el fresón, or how?
So I think I don't know. I can think of myself one way and somebody thinks another way. But in high school, it's weird. You see, I didn't like the education here. I really did not care, and they were lucky if they saw me 2-3 times a week. Just to be honest,
not go.
Yeah, they were lucky if they saw me 2-3 times a week. I was always, I don't even know how many missing days I had.
But it was because
Was
you
that
didn't
that like your whole high school, or was that kind of like your end years, more like senior, junior, senior?
Where the ditching, it probably started like sophomore year. You know, I wasn't captivated there. I don't know.
So it was
I don't
because of
stay.
like the teachers weren't.
Yeah, I was like, this is
Really
boring.
caring.
I'm gonna go. I didn't like the classes either way, so I was like, I'm gonna go. A little bit of partier, I think. A little bit of partier.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And wow, it was good, you know. I stopped playing sports because I wanted to work, so I started working. And
What sports were you playing?
I played just soccer.
When did you stop playing?
I stopped playing my sophomore year when I became of age to work. I said I'd rather work than play sports.
Where'd you go work?
My first job, like my first legal job, because I've worked as a kid too.
Yeah.
You know, I always try to find jobs or do stuff. My first job, as soon as I turned 16, I applied at Dairy Queen. The next day, I got called for an interview, and the next day I got hired. So it was at Dairy Queen.
Damn,
Dairy Queen.
faster than what I got hired.
It was pretty quick. I think I've always had luck with jobs, I guess. Thankfully.
Is there so you did that your sophomore year, and then what? Did you keep working your other years in high school, or you kind of just like?
No.
Is that where your school kind of like? Because you said you got a lot of like ditching time and stuff. Was that kind of what led to it? You think you're like, fuck this, I'd rather go work than.
Well, yeah. I like at that age, like you just want a car, you just want like clothes, or you just want to, you know,
Materialistic
stuff.
things.
Material stuff.
So I wanted the job to like help me pay with those stuffs, you know, all this stuff. And also because I don't know, I like working, I guess. Like I hated not having, like in college, not having my work routine. Like I was so used to having work, and like when I stopped working because I had to go to college full time. I felt out of place.
You get
really
into
did. Yeah,
you kind of get into, well, yeah, it's kind of the routine, as long as it's a positive routine. Like
Yeah, it was
you
a positive
get
routine,
you
yeah.
get into a routine, you're just
Yep.
this is good. Like you feel like you need it. When you don't
Yeah.
have it,
You feel out of
sometimes you're
place.
there, you're struggling through, you're just like, fuck, like.
Yeah.
But like once you get in it, you
Yeah.
start
So that's why
start
during
missing
college I
it.
started like doing some side hustles and stuff like that, because I was like, I miss doing something or making money. So I was like, yeah, I need to do something at the least.
What was the best experience you think you had from high school?
From high school, the best experience.
Best experience and best decision, or worst decision.
And worst decision, both.
Both. None of this.
Worst. Best decision didn't really like come from high school. It just comes from the memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly just the memories that came during those years. It wasn't like just like, you know, it wasn't a school event. It wasn't a class. It wasn't a teacher. It was just probably like the memories that came like throughout those years, you know. Just because they were good years, you know. I may have overdid it. I don't regret nothing though. They're good years.
That's what makes you who you are. I
It
mean,
makes you who you
That's
are.
the important thing, to just not regret anything
Yeah.
you do. Just accept your decisions and go with it.
Yeah. And the worst decision.
worst decision.
Let's see.
How many parties did get you at?
Well, you know, worst decision, not getting emotional, is just going back to one night that I wish, like, I was still in high school. I wish I would have, like, not done that, or maybe,
Yeah.
like, done something else that night. That's probably the worst
Yeah, that does.
decision.
That's the biggest one for sure. what about like? I mean, I'm pretty sure you were out like partying and stuff. Like, what's the craziest? I mean, like, besides that one, the other one, like the craziest experience that you had. Like, you're going.
A lot of like like running from the cops or stuff like that. Running through cornfields or
A couple times or
a
what?
couple times. Yeah. What was it? Like probably the most craziest one was one time we were running from the cops.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, we were running from the cops. I'm of age now, so we were running from the cops from a house party, and it was through the field, and they were like following us too, but there was a barbed wire fence, and I was sprinting, and I run it, boom, clothesline. I do a flip, I cut myself open right here in the stomach, and
really.
The cop is still going by, but I'm like laying down in the corner and trying to be careful,
So
be
he didn't
quiet.
see you. So you didn't
He
know.
didn't see me. No. We got away after that.
How bad was that cut? Like,
It was like a little cut. It healed. I don't have a scar, but yeah, that was probably like one of the craziest things. Like having like he literally like walked like where you're at. Like he walked by me like that.
He didn't even see.
me, no. That was.
That's fucking crazy.
I don't
Was
know
it
if
like to the cornfield you said, or
yeah,
what?
there's a barbed wire. I don't know why.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
That's when you think sports and stuff, because you got that conditioning to be able to run.
There's where the soccer skills came in.
Because I mean, let's be honest, you don't have to be that conditioned to be able to outrun.
Yeah, the cops.
Some cops. Yeah.
I don't know. There's some
Sadly.
fake cop now. There's like
There's
2
some.
or 3. There's some.
You're gonna get one out of like 30.
There's
One out of 30. That's it.
Comparing them to high schoolers who have all this energy.
This is going off topic. Do you think cops need more training or more education?
I think they do.
Because
people are like
I'm just saying
defunding
here academy time is it's not that long, and in other countries it's a whole extensive training.
What's like?
I feel like here
It's too easy.
it's too easy. I feel like you
It's
need more
sadly
training.
too. But
You
then
need
that's
more
kind of what the
emotional
stuff.
training, more psychological.
It started like defunding the police, but in reality they need more.
Yeah,
They need more funding. So they
Funding,
can-
I think, more
they
funding
can
to
actually
teach them
teach 'em.
more. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like if you
Exactly.
think about it, like if you're trained pretty good, like
Then yeah,
you
you
can
know,
go back- you can go to, like,
when
MMA
the situation,
fighters, like-
when the situation comes, or a worst case scenario, you know what to do.
yeah, like you can. I feel like you can. I think it's more like mental, reaction. Like
Reaction
if this
time.
guy does something, like I feel like you don't have unless the other guy pulled a gun at you, then you pull your gun. But it's like
How to
if they're
how
just
to-
over there, it's like they
how to
have
deal on the
tasers.
situation, or how to calm the situation before getting that level or something. Yeah,
That's where the biggest training is, and two, it's the big is the physical.
I was just about to
Because
say,
the
like
physical.
really like
they need
it's not like
a
that we're
yearly,
good or
a yearly
anything, but I'm
physical
pretty
test or
sure
something.
yeah. They probably do need to
every
be
2
fair,
years or something a
competent
fit
to do.
test.
Yeah, yeah, they probably do.
I was hearing some guy talking about some stuff. He said that the cop should be like have like a purple belt or something, to be able to like
Because you never know, like they're cops, they're here to protect. You got to protect.
exactly.
That
Yeah.
might also,
You
like,
might
help.
do need a little bit more training.
It might also help like the shootings and stuff. It's like they're purple belt. Someone comes at them with a knife. They don't necessarily have to pull out a gun and shoot them. They can just
Right. Like
Take 'em down
like
or-
army combat.
But then
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to the thing too. Like, I mean, I guess we're not cops, but it's like if you have somebody running at you with a knife,
Yeah, what are you
and
gonna
you
do,
have something
right?
like obviously you're gonna.
Yeah, you're obviously-
if you're
you're-
strapped, you're
Right?
gonna,
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna
got
say,
you got
like-
people waiting for you at home.
Yeah.
It's him or me.
Yeah.
And I'd rather it's your family crying than my family crying.
Yeah, and if you're strapped, you'll be like, let's play.
Yeah,
It's
let's
fucked
play,
up, but
let's
it's
dance.
like.
Yeah.
I feel like being a cop is just like one of the hardest jobs that a lot of people don't realize.
It's like it's the physical, but I think it's more the emotional. Just
Because it goes back to the things like
even like here in a small town, like
They're-
nowadays we've seen like some pretty crazy stuff happening. So like it's just you never know what's gonna happen.
So do you think all that stuff kind of goes back to like it's too easy to just get a gun, or do you think it's, or what do you?
I
mean, what are
like
your
guns,
thoughts?
I like guns. I do feel like there should be more training because I feel like you can just go buy and buy a gun. You just run your
You
background
don't even know how to
check.
use it.
Yeah, and you don't
They
even
should
know
make
how
you
to
take
use
like
it.
a class right there with them to be able to like buy a gun or something.
But then
There
you
should be some prereqs on gun safety or using.
But then
and
think
maybe-
about it, how expensive
and-
would that be?
And it doesn't matter though.
No, I know. But I
feel like-
mean, are you
It
gonna
would
go
be
buy a
more
$2,000 gun? Original price would be like $500, but like they need to give you all this training. They need somebody one-on-one. So like
it can be the U.S. has a lot of money, quite frank, how much money you spend on
Oh, I know,
military.
I know, yeah.
There should be some money set aside.
Take care of
Go
their
ahead.
own citizens
Yeah, they
instead of
should.
sending
Yeah,
it to
that's-
who knows where.
Yep. There should be some money spent like set aside just for that classes, and maybe even a psychological test. See if you're competent
That's
to actually.
that's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, see if you're actually like everything's running up here.
All the bolts are tightened.
How the bolts are tied, because if something's loose, then I feel like there should be something psychological.
Like
test or
even though if they make it harder to like buy a gun or whatever legally, there's always gonna be those
always
under
gonna
the
be
table
those guys
shit
or
that gets
somebody under the
by.
table. Yeah, but
And it's like harder to regulate
yeah.
regulate that stuff.
yep, that's true. But it might decrease the numbers, and you might not see it like right away, but like over the years, compound effect maybe. I don't know.
You could also do it like how they've been doing with like the marijuana here. They made it legal and they can like regulate it, and it's calmed down like all the
Yeah, like back then I feel like it was like
drug
crazy,
sales.
like smoking, but now it's legal.
I mean,
It's
it was
like-
just like they hear they
yeah.
hear that word and everyone was like tense up,
Yeah.
and now it's just like
so
it's going like
normal.
literally going to buy a pack of gums.
yeah,
Like
so
it's crazy.
One of my many jobs I've had is working in the hemp. And
How's
like,
that?
It's a good experience. It's
No, but is it like
Did
would
you
they
ever
search you when you leave and stuff
Oh,
like that,
no,
or
not
like,
at all.
or they
Not at
didn't
all.
get,
did,
No.
did you ever take some and just
sweep it over here
Just
for
a little-
later? Maybe.
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 Well, Senate
That's why the
temp-
count was
yeah.
wrong and shit every
So
day.
Senate temp is just CBD, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's legal at the federal level. It's not like THC or all of the cannabinoids that are legal like statewide. They have statewide bans and the federal ban. But no, did I take something? I don't know. I might have taken something.
I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Might have just stuck to my pants
Yeah,
on the way
it
out.
just kind of got in there. Yeah, but yeah, there's no security or anything. It's just
So how easy is it to
I
like, get a
worked.
job there?
It's pretty easy. I worked at the greenhouses and I've worked in the fields. I've worked like the processing or the beginning where you're planting. I kind of done all of it.
And is there like a lot of like I mean for jobs I guess you need like good like papers and stuff, but I mean was there a lot of people like
Oh yeah,
without that stuff
definitely,
doing it?
definitely.
Because I mean it's the fields like
Yeah, it's a field.
nobody wants.
Yep.
Let's be real, like no one wants to be out in the
This
fields,
is a hard job, and
and we already know who's the
Um,
people out in the fields.
we know who's gonna last, right?
Yeah.
I took my brother and my dad, and it's a hard job. I'm just saying they couldn't last that long,
Yeah,
Shout out Alex Madera. We were the ones that lapped
Hung out.
everybody, and like we like
Shut them up.
yeah, we showed them up just to in short words. Yep. Yeah, but there's some people that they work their fields their whole days, the whole lives. I mean, and so they know what to do, and they're so good.
they get
Yeah, so they're doing jobs that people don't want to do. Hard jobs, I can tell you, under the sun. Hard.
So what?
Hot
So
jobs.
let's go a little bit on that topic. What do you think about the people? You think if people like to help people be legalized here?
Okay.
You think you?
So
Because I mean,
going kind of
because
off topic, in topic, like the dreamers, right?
yeah,
What the fuck? What's taking so long?
yeah.
What the fuck is taking so long?
And the thing is like
this is all they've known. Like they don't even know Mexico. Like
Yeah.
they deserve this more than
It's-
most people.
exactly.
They contribute so much to society. Tax money too. So a lot of people say they don't pay taxes. Fuck no, they contribute to.
Well, just think about the thing, like just say they didn't or whatever, but it's like, but they do. But just think about it. To keep the country running, you need the agriculture
need
stuff.
it.
And who's the people doing it?
Exactly.
So it's like
They've
If
tried
they
to
take
do
it all
those-
away, it's not gonna.
those the
function.
protests and stuff, like a day without a farm or a day without these workers.
but it's hard because usually
It's
the
hard
people
because they needed the job.
people like
sadly.
usually the Hispanic
But if it
people
were to completely
will
stop,
keep going.
chaos. It would be chaos, right? Like.
But that's the thing. The Hispanic people, they're hardworking people that want to get out to, like they don't want to miss a
A
beat.
day
They don't
or
want to.
week,
They want to
nothing,
be.
right.
They want to be in there
They'll
because they
be
need it.
sick and like they'll still work. They'll still feel pain and they'll still go out work. Yep.
Or it's also like, if they want to do like a protest, like they're afraid to do so because
they're afraid
they
of-
don't want to
they
lose their
don't know-
job.
they
They don't
don't
want to
know the
get
rights and
in with
stuff like that.
the
Yep.
cops or anything.
And they'll be like
that.
no, and then they'll be like the government or whatever. Like oh they didn't show up. It's like, well how do you want us to show up? It's pretty much saying like, free trip to Mexico.
Yeah, basically, huh?
It's just like, yeah, that thing's.
So I feel like we need a reform right there, because
How do you do it?
how do you do it?
To say if they asked you for like your advice, they said, hey Victor, help us out with this. What do you think would be your way?
The first thing is DACA. I'd hook them up. I'd hook them up first, right? And
would you hook all of them up, or would you kind of do like we go back to like a little history, like
there has
have you
to
been
be,
doing stuff good?
Let's say I'm a felon. You got to think about it too. Or let's say you have like 5 DUIs, or you have there should be like some
a line.
You have to make a line. Like you can't just
you can't just let everybody go.
But like, to be honest, like there's people, you can make a simple mistake and like it should still be okay. We're all young and we make mistakes, so I'd hook them up first. Tough question, right? That's a tough question.
That's a good one, dude.
Because thinking, because we all want it, but how would you do it, right?
And then like the time, like
the time,
we all want it, but then like everybody has a plan, but like paperwork to go through stuff, meet like appointments and stuff. Like it's a long. You're talking about a long haul right there. A lot of money.
Yeah, there's people that's here that have been here for over 20 years and they still can't get fixed. It's like back home they don't have anything left. They've been here for 20 years.
They don't even know it over there. Like this is their whole life now, and they've contributed so much here. They've made their life here, and I feel like they deserve it. It's a good question. I've never thought about like how it would actually go about the reform, but I know there has to be some change, because there has to be some benefit to it too. If you make somebody fully legal, like how much money can they also contribute, like flights or whatever? They're comfortable flying out, coming in, working whatever certain jobs or.
You would think that would benefit the U.S. because you're a citizen now. Okay, now we can tax you now. Like we can take your money.
Well, the thing is, even illegals still pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Even they still pay taxes. So that's a stigma that people.
They should be able to go back.
I
think
like people say
hey,
that they don't pay taxes. They still pay taxes without getting the benefits.
Yeah,
they can't get the insurance.
I feel like they should kind of go through like
they can't get
you pay taxes for the last say like 5 years. Like, dude, you're doing good. There's people that work and don't do taxes that are actually citizens, and nothing happens to them.
They're citizens sitting on their ass taking the unemployment check.
Unemployment.
Yeah, I'm not saying names or pointing fingers, but like there's a lot of people that aren't illegals and they're just
just milking it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a hard position. I mean, like we said, it's a hard way to do it. Do you think there's some sort of future with the president change?
I had faith in him, but the way things are going, I don't know, dude. He's pretty slow on the promises that he had too.
Pretty slow on the promises, or pretty slow in the
maybe both. I don't know.
Everything.
Yeah, I feel like in general, politics fell. Like Democrat, Republic, they fail us. They fail us as a nation, and we've talked about this, right?
Yeah.
This is not picking sides. I feel like they both fail us. That's because
we're talking about the United States.
It's a United States,
not the Republicans.
You're not
United
so
States or the Democrats.
These classes, that's already a division of two, right?
That's already in half. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's still more. There's like liberal. There's all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, whatever Kanye ran.
But then
Kanye.
There you go. But there's like. That's not united. You divided it. So it's like I feel like it should
right
be all one. Like, but see, that's.
But why limit to just two big parties? Why not just have
the two that have the
10,
most
20
money,
parties?
the deepest pockets.
That's the problem with politics. It's just the money game. With the highest bidder gets it, and it's not how it should be. There's a lot of other people who have a lot of great ideas, but don't have the voice, the bank, or the platform.
Yep.
Because now, like, even social media is a bigger part.
Even if you do have a platform, dude, what happened to all these guys that they're censoring on Twitter and stuff,
Or Trump, they took away his Twitter account.
Like, you had a voice, but it's like
Trump, like you might hate the guy or you might love him, but you're taking away their platform.
Voice, yeah. The thing is, it's private. You're not taking away his voice like him.
Yeah,
like, he can still say whatever he wants.
It's just his platform.
That platform is a private platform. So at the end of the day, like it or love it.
Do you see a problem with that? You think it could be a snowball effect, just to be like, we don't like what you said, we're fucking taking you off?
It can be, like jokes. Like sometimes you just gotta even say a joke, because somebody's gonna,
Dude. Now you have to be so sensitive with everything.
And
but it's okay. You can.
I understand some people might you know, but I can take a joke. So honestly, I can take a joke. So there's a lot of things that I don't agree with. Maybe some people don't agree with me, but it's okay.
That's kind of where it kind of goes. I think people are addicted to people's
canceling.
to what yeah,
Well,
to
it's
that too. But
the
I'm
cancel culture we have nowadays.
I know,
but to
canceling
people's
everything.
reactions. They're
Like-
addicted to the reaction because they're like, "Hey, he said this about me," like, or he didn't like this, you know.
Well,
or I got
Instagram,
these likes or
they've been
something.
trying to like experiment with taking away like
The comments.
the comments and the likes.
Yeah.
Like there's this picture,
Shit ain't gonna
but you
work.
can't see how
But
many
that's
likes there are on there.
though. Like people focus a lot on the comments and likes. Like
Mhm.
that's like a sickness, I think.
Yeah, it kind of goes through the thing. It's like if just go like for a how-to video on YouTube,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna be like, obviously, if this one has 100,000 views or likes,
It's the best one.
and this one has
10,000
1,000 or
oh,
10,000,
yeah.
you're gonna be like, I'm gonna fucking watch this. one.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of how it goes with the.
When maybe the 1,000 has more information, or it might be better.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's a whole. It's tough. We're living in a different
Times
era.
for sure.
Yeah, it's the downfall with the snowball effect with the canceling people, the cancel culture. What do you think about all these protests? Like, I mean, I know it's a touchy subject, but it's like with the protests and then the like Black Lives Matter and all that
Everybody
shit.
should have a right to protest. You really,
Yeah.
You know? Because
Another thing.
if you don't fight for something, like, and you conform with something, that's where you fucked up. Like, you're okay with it. You know, like, you should. The thing is, like, you know.
Now they know how
being
much they can
introvert-
get away
now,
with.
Now you like, yeah.
How does that work? Because like I mean, I'm trying to get your kind of like your thoughts on it from Mexico. Is there a lot of protests, like a lot of shit like that over there, or not as much?
There is quite a bit. There is a big problem, just like there's here.
What's the biggest like problem that they have right,
right
now,
now,
going
the-
like
the
government wise, like stuff like that?
Feminists, like a lot of girls, you know, getting abused or doing this, or a lot of machoism, you know, like Latin culture has a lot of machoism.
Pinche machismo.
Machismo,
Se
that's
sienten
really bad.
chingones.
Yeah, that's something I don't like.
Pero como esos güeyes es desde que crecieron.
Yeah.
Crecieron en esa.
And it's
And esa
not
cultura que they just kept
you see it
going.
now. You do see it with just like the old people, because a lot of, or you know, you used to see it with young people too. But like I'm saying, it's changing. Let's go to Spanish. A lot of people, muchos de mi edad, ya tienen otra mentalidad, piensan diferente, y hay igualdad. No hay diferencias.
Sí, porque muchos están pinche. Se quedan como con la mentalidad que el hombre de la
El
casa
hombre
y
manda,
esto.
y
sí,
esto,
mo.
la cocina, y esto.
Y ahora yo pienso que muchos de los hombres se sienten amenazados porque las mujeres que sacan títulos buenos y tienen buenos
Ajá.
trabajos, que tienen incluso hasta mejores pagos que lo que ellos pueden tener. Y ellos como que se sienten amenazados como chingados, ellos van a
Ajá.
poder más que yo, like, más que yo. Y se ponen como que no les gusta.
Pero ahí se ve la inseguridad, ¿verdad?
Ajá.
Estás inseguro de ti mismo, porque pues en realidad no estás tan
De
capacitado como,
de tus capacidades.
como
tal.
esta muchacha que trabaja esto, así, esto. Ahí se ve la inseguridad y no estás tan preparado, lo que sea. Pero pues está muy mal eso de sentirte mal porque una mujer logra más. O
¿Y
un
eso
puesto
es,
más
¿y eso
más
es
grande.
problema de toda la cultura, tú crees? ¿O nomás de cómo se...
Crecido,
Crecen,
sí, es parte
sí.
de la cultura. Como te digo, no, ya hoy en día pues no todos pensamos igual. Ya hay hombres que están actuales en los tiempos y no hay tanto machismo y así, pero sí tenemos que mejorar eso.
Que es una manera que se puede mejorar, en tu punto de vista.
Mejorar.
Como de, algo así.
Hay muchos, de las palabras que se llaman las mujeres, ¿verdad? Las palabras que les dicen las mujeres. O pensar que una mujer es puta, cuando el hombre hace lo mismo.
Se tratan más como un objeto.
Ajá,
como así, es como una mujer si se mete.
Pero,
si una
digo,
mujer
se comparan, las comparan cuando uno es igual. O sea, hacen lo mismo y nomás porque la mujer lo hace, dicen, pues es puta, o es está loquilla, o lo que sea.
Como con... Si el hombre se acuesta con 5 mujeres, ahí están todos, ¡ay!
chingón,
felicitándolo y chingón.
y
Y
es un pinche chingón.
mi rey.
Y si una
que
mujer hace
aguanta
eso,
más,
es puta.
Ajá, y si una mujer hace, o sea, si se conoce que anda con dos, pues ya, ahí se acabó.
Ajá.
Ya le,
Y lo,
ya
por los vatos,
automáticamente le pusieron con un marcador acá en la frente.
ahí en la
le
pinche
pusieron
frente.
La P de...
Sí.
Ajá.
Y eso es como que se ha ido trascendiendo, yo pienso, desde
Sí, desde antes, sí. Es parte de la cultura. Está muy malo
Sí.
que sea parte de la cultura.
Y es una pelea, y yo pienso que se tiene que seguir peleando, porque es como lo que dijiste ahorita, si nomás te sigues agachando, nunca se va a
pasar,
controlar
sí.
eso.
Lo bueno es que pues ya hay protestas y ya tienen una voz, hay plataformas que pueden hablar y ahora con las redes sociales se puede expandir muy rápido. Todo.
¿Qué tendrá más enganchamiento? ¿Unas protestas o algo en unas redes? Porque en las redes también te pueden censurar. Y en una
Nomás que
protesta, pues
sí,
estás ahí
pero
en
lo
la
bueno de
calle y
las redes sociales es que puedes compartir con alguien que está
el otro lado del
al
mundo.
otro lado del mundo, de
Eso sí.
otro país
Ujú.
y a lo mejor no sabían que existía ese problema y ahora saben. Pero si tienes una protesta en un lugar y tú estás acá, pues tú ni encuentras qué está pasando aquí, ni sabes qué está pasando aquí. Entonces, los dos son buenas maneras de que tu voz sea escuchada en protestas y en redes sociales.
Porque muchas veces dicen que, pues, hacen una protesta y, ay, pues, si la hacemos bien grande, la van a poner en la televisión, van a venir las noticias, pero muchas de las noticias no quieren pasar esas
No
cosas.
pasan esas cosas, ¿verdad?
Y eso
Y
también
Y es lo
un
bueno de las
problema
redes
bien grande.
sociales,
Ese que tiene
que
billetes.
cada quien puede compartir lo que sea. Sí, a lo mejor te censuran una cosa u otra, pero
a lo
no
mejor te lo
todos.
bajan, pero a lo mejor puede que te lo bajen, pero dura un
Sí, de
ratillo.
todos modos, ahí puedes compartir cosas que a lo mejor en la televisión no pudieron poner o algo así.
Sí, es todo como la comunidad hispana o en la americana también, como el que tiene el billete habla, como en las plataformas esas de la tele o las
Sí,
noticias
sí.
y todo, y pues si te quieren ahí te van a poner, y si no,
Si no, no te
sí.
ponen, no, pues está cabrón. Así es la cosa, tristemente, pero sí, así es.
Si una vez hablas mal o dices algo que no les cae, pues ya.
Ajá, ya
Ahí-
valiste.
Ya valiste.
Piensas que, no, pues sí, como si es, porque casi más bien en las noticias se mira más como lo negativo, últimamente. Si te pones a
Es lo
mirar
malo,
noticias,
no, últimamente, siempre ha sido así, las noticias siempre enseñan lo malo.
es que yo no miro
Porque es lo
noticias,
que
es cuando
captiva
yo
a la
miro.
gente, porque si dicen, esto hizo tal y tal, pues te
Ahí está la
resbala
gente.
y no te importa, pero a esta persona le pasó esto y cabrón, es lo que te captiva más.
O también
Los ratings.
como hace un año y medio ya, que los terroristas de allá del otro lado que los querían atacar y todo esto, y lo empezaron con el coronavirus y ya
Se les olvidó.
se les olvidó ya, como que
Ya sé.
ya se
Un
pasó.
tiempo pensando que iba a ser la Guerra Mundial 3 o algo así y pasa una cosa y se olvida.
Ujú.
Está muy raro como pasa.
Pero
Una caja china, yo creo.
Dale. Pero como regresando eso un poquito a lo del feminismo, ¿qué has mirado tú más que hacen, como aparte de protestas? ¿Qué otras cosas pueden hacer ellas? ¿O has visto tú?
Ellas
¿Qué hacen?
ya están haciendo todo lo que pueden. Lo que
De como
uno
qué-
debe ser
qué
es
cosas.
el hombre, el que debe cambiar. Las mujeres ya
Ok.
están hablando. El que tiene que cambiar es el hombre.
Tienen que escuchar.
Ajá, tienes que escuchar y implementar, o sea, cambiar.
¿Y quién piensa que tiene más responsabilidad? Pues sí, como los hombres, pero como los negocios, que le den oportunidades más a las mujeres, ¿o cómo? ¿O en qué aspectos?
Sí, hay veces que las mujeres a lo mejor son más capaces que el hombre y no es porque son mujeres no las ponen o que no tienen tanta autoridad, piensan o algo. Y en mi opinión yo he visto mujeres chingonas que tienen más autoridad y están mucho más capacitadas que uno y son las que deberían estar en esos puestos. Entonces sí, es culpa de los negocios, es a lo mejor del machismo, cultura vieja que se tiene que cambiar.
¿No será más difícil para las empresas así? Porque ven todo lo del feminismo y eso se sienten que tienen
Y
que...
eso
que
es
haber
algo
alguien
que estudiamos con negocios, ¿verdad? Hay muchas culturas, a lo mejor la cultura japonesa, otras que no les gusta hacer tratos con las mujeres. Y pues también allá tienen que cambiar ciertas cosas, ¿verdad? antes de hacer negocios con alguien tienes más o menos estudiarlo, ver cómo es y qué le gusta, ¿no? Si una empresa sabe que a este japonés o a esta persona o a esta empresa no le gusta hacer trato con una mujer, a lo mejor no la van a contratar o algo así. Es lo malo. Tienen que cambiar todo eso.
Sí, es una de las cosas que está cabrón con las redes sociales. Como si alguien, X persona aplica a tu empresa,
Ajá.
tú de volada, pinche, te puedes meter a sus redes sociales y mirar. Porque si nomás es puro resume sin
Sí,
foto,
sí.
tú de volada lo estudias. Ok, esto,
sí,
fotos,
resume,
esto,
Y yo
familia,
hago lo
cómo se
mismo.
mira.
Y no, sin mentirte, yo hago lo mismo con
No, sí, todos lo
persona
hacemos,
que
todos
cuando
lo
quiero
hacemos.
vender algo rápido, checo qué le gusta y algo para poder
Ajá.
agarrarme con algo.
Pero, digo, tiene, como eso es
Sí,
bueno y malo.
es lo bueno y malo.
Porque tú a lo mejor le harías una oportunidad a esa persona. Mirando su resume y todo,
Dices,
no, este güey
tiene todo el check
ajá,
y es
chingón. Y luego ya
candidato perfecto ya al ver
o nomás si está así.
comparte cosas feas o algo.
Ajá. O si, digo, si lo miras así, sin que tenga nombre, como todo un resume, y luego ya que mires y tenga nombre de mujer en vez de hombre, y luego ya pinche,
o sea,
ya
que te
de
juzgan.
volada, ajá,
Ajá.
de volada te cambió todo.
Ajá, sí, es lo malo, que te juzgan.
Ese es el,
No, te juzgan por otras cosas y no por tu capacidad.
ajá, ese es el. Pero eso es lo que yo pienso que las empresas, los dueños de negocio, managers, lo que sea, estar un poquito más al pendiente de eso, porque sí hay muchas
Personas capaces
sí.
y nada más por tener esos gustos o algo y no los contratan. Ajá.
Sí, gustos de todo
o
pueden
los
ser.
tatuajes.
Ándale, eso es otro. Ahí
No te
tenemos
contratan por poner
Sí,
tatuajes.
unos
Dicen,
pocos.
este es un pandillero, me va a robar o no sé.
Es una de las cosas que, pues uno como persona, yo siento que a lo mejor la mayoría lo hacen. Miran a alguien rapado la
Ajá,
cabeza
dice,
y con tatuajes
ajá,
y
ya,
dicen, hijo de
dices, es
su
un
pinche
cholo,
madre.
no trabaja, vende droga,
Ajá.
algo así. Piensas mal, ¿verdad? Sí, es lo malo.
Pero si te topas con alguien así igual, si trae una cachucha, no miraste su pelo y trae manga larga,
Ajá.
tú dices, oh, chingo. Y
Persona
ya no,
normal.
ajá. Pero ya nomás que lo mires un día con manga corta y sin cachucha, ya te cambió todo el pedo.
Ya cambias de perspectiva.
Sí, por eso
completamente.
es como las apariencias engañan.
Engañan. Ajá. Yep.
Y por cambiar todo eso, me acuerdo de una canción como en el sexto grado, nos hicieron escuchar, el Man in the Mirror de Michael
Sí,
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Cada viernes ahí nos ponían
viernes
todos
ponían
ahí
canciones.
cantando ahí nomás.
¿Qué clase era esa?
Era todo
todo de música.
el pod.
Yeah. Pero
pues,
era una
qué
clase
nerdo.
también, ¿no?
Para nosotros era
pero
nomás, como
ajá.
nosotros somos en el Blue Pod.
Sí, en el grupo.
Nos íbamos todos a un salón y ahí nos sentaban en el suelo. Okay, pongan atención a esta canción.
¿Y qué les enseñaban? Nomás se lo ponía y
¿Cuál
se
era el
chingó.
chiste?
Nomás ponían la canción.
Pero no
Pero por
hablaba,
el mensaje, sí.
No,
o sea,
pero no le decía, agarra un mensaje. No,
pues sí,
Sí, hay mensajes,
decían
dicen
eso.
The Man in the Mirror. O sea, The Man in the Mirror es básicamente diciendo que, el hombre en el espejo, ¿verdad? Viéndote a ti mismo, o sea, te ves quién es en realidad y que tenía varios mensajes de canción.
Sí,
Pero
si quieres cambiar algo en el mundo, primero te
Cámbiate
tienes que
primero,
cambiar tú mismo.
sí.
Pero algo así era iniciativa de la maestra o de la escuela que puso. Porque yo nunca la escuché cuando estuve.
Es buena,
los maestros.
es de los
¿De los
maestros.
maestros?
Sí.
¿Y eso es bueno o malo?
Yo digo que ahí sí es bueno porque pues el mensaje que están tratando de llegar es si quieres cambiar el mundo, primero cámbiate a ti. Porque cómo vas a cambiar a alguien tú siendo,
Ajá.
o sea, otra cosa.
Entonces,
Primero cámbiate a ti y ya.
volvemos a lo mismo ahorita otra vez con las capacidades. Con las capacidades. El maestro, el que puso eso, él está más capacitado. Él es más chingón porque él sabe que necesitan más desarrollo, más bien como en esa
Desarrollo
edad.
personal
Y hay otros, la neta,
que no sabe.
que no saben, no
Que
les
les
importa
vale.
o algo. Por eso te digo,
Hay profes que
volvemos
maestros que no
a
les
lo mismo otra
importa
vez.
y están nomás por estar.
sí, eso está. Porque hay unos maestros que sí están.
Muy entrados
Ta-
en su...
Sí, hay otros que están en otro
no,
pinche.
Mr. Pope,
Oh, yeah, ese es de los
Oh.
mejores maestros que he tenido.
creo que el
El
mejor.
mejor, sí.
Todo lo que escribía.
Desde middle school allá
Yo
andan
nomás
con-
tuve una clase con él, pero te quedas como,
Ajá.
fuck, like, ¿tú por qué
Su
estás ahí?
actitud
¿Tú por qué
de
es,
siempre,
like,
porque estás contento. Yep. siempre estaba contento. ¿Y por qué vergas
Pero te
estabas contento?
quedas como, like, ahora lo miras como, si a él le gustaba eso, chingón, pero como la capacidad que él tenía y nomás como que estaba ahí.
Bueno, no
¿me
sé
entiendes?
si sabes mucho de su historia, ¿verdad?
Yo no sé. Bueno.
Creo que viene de Alabama.
Ujú.
No tenía tanto dinero. No sé si familia o solamente su hermano, era drogadicto. Tenía una
A rough?
upbringing. Su vida, su crecimiento, pues no fue de lo mejor. Y a pesar de eso, no, sin saberlo antes, nos estaba hablando de su vida financiera y de todo, su vida emocional. Nos decía antes que él tenía un plan para ser un millonario después de los tantos años, todo así,
But
cosas importantes.
when he was small, he started doing that, like talking like to himself or
No,
como?
this was later on, but like you're in middle school, you don't think about this, right? He already had a plan. Like, this is something that they should teach, like teachers, like having a
Your fucking goals.
your short term, medium, and long term. He would talk about like how he was set to be a millionaire by certain years. Just I think by houses or something. I don't know exactly how, but yeah, he would always talk about like how to be. His favorite quote, he had in a poster.
He always had posters all over, huh? Like,
but
just writing on the walls.
Take the route or the road less driven on, because you go mainstream, you do the same thing. But if you go the route less driven or the route less traveled on,
you need to grab the shovel.
Makes, yeah,
you grab the shovel.
That's kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Makes all the difference.
Just like learning from someone who's actually done what you want to do.
That was a non-traditional class. It was in a math. It was in a it was in a.
What class was
It was
that?
an elective.
It was an elective, but
What
I feel
was
like
it
that
then?
was one of the most important
It
classes.
should be required.
It should be required.
But see, what with like a teacher that's like, it should be required, but with the teacher like with his capacity, that he had, because there'd be a lot that they think like no, like he's, because that's how I thought about him too, like, but it's like fuck, like till later. I mean, I was because I had his class and you're just like.
Yeah,
like, what, you don't really think
at
about
least
it.
you thought it was
And
a
then
fun
later,
class, you could think
yeah.
whatever. But later on, you're like, damn, I took that for granted. That was probably like one of the best
Especially
classes
like in middle school where people think they're too cool to do certain stuff.
Yeah,
they just like, this guy's probably just crazy.
He made us do a lot of like little challenges, like where you, let's see, where you have to like vote on yourself or you rate yourself on a lot of things in front of the class, and you're like it's boring or whatever. But like if you do that now, it's like, oh shit, like
it's for real.
It's for real.
It's for real.
Yeah, this guy. He's saying some real stuff.
Yeah, because it's hard. I think it's hard too, kind of like at that age. Because I mean, at that age, people
but
you
it's
don't
important.
care. Yeah, it's important.
It's important to start then and not like later on. It's just start like always. It should be always taught like throughout all the grades.
Especially during like middle school, that's when like people start going through puberty, start having sex, start experimenting with drugs.
Getting reckless and shit at that age.
He had like a bet, like he make a bet with you if you took his class.
Yeah. To not drink alcohol.
To not drink alcohol or to not have sex. And then if you on graduation day, if you didn't do any of those things, like he'd go and give you $100.
You had to be honest and like go to him and.
Because that's the kind of person like he was. Like you could easily lie to him and be like, "Yeah, I fucking did to give me my money."
His thing was integrity too.
Yeah, that's the big thing he taught.
Yeah, he was big on integrity, being honest when nobody else is looking, right? Being honest, like without expecting something back.
Like who you really are when nobody's looking.
Yep. He
was big on that.
Pope's on another level.
he's
Pope, we're looking for you.
We don't deserve you. We don't deserve you.
You just sit down and chat with Pope now.
I know, huh?
And another one for me, another big one that
I think that would be a good talk now. Like when you now that you
a couple years later you reflect it.
That would be that'd be good.
So if you're out there, Pope, well, we're looking for you.
Yeah, let's get you on this podcast.
Get us a chat.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about life. Another big one I was telling you for me, because I was big into sports. I mean, I don't know if he really knows it but it's Chisholm.
Yeah.
Chisholm, like, dude, he was on another level. Like, he was like, I remember him. He'd always tell us like, visualize this, visualize the plays going through.
Yeah,
he'd make us close our eyes and go through the whole
since
thing.
the beginning of the game or before the game, you're like, fuck, these guys are good, and I don't think like
This guy's big. He's gonna kick.
Yeah, so
my ass.
you just lost already. Like
You lost before you even went to the
before
battle.
you even went to the battle, you know. You just lost already, but if
David
you
and Goliath, like it's like you have that
mentalize
big
yourself
guy.
that I'm gonna win and I'm gonna, you know, Achilles tendon. I'm gonna, you know, Achilles. If you find the weak spot, you got him.
The one thing he'd do is like when we were like doing stretches right before the game, he'd go by to like every single person, give him like a fist bump, like lock in.
Dap
Like
you up.
even the people who never play, who are JV
Yeah.
bench,
That was
he'd still go away, lock in because we still need you to pay
You should
attention.
be
Just
there and captivate.
was
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
I remember you'd get in pre-games. He'd get in there. He'd make you visualize. He did some pretty fucking crazy pre-games.
It gets you like
Got a couple bombs and stuff going.
he broke a
Blow-
couple windows or the door or something.
blew a couple,
Oh,
blew some
yeah.
shit up. Yeah,
Blew some shit out.
yeah, dude. We need to have him talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Some of those, but yeah, dude, he'd make you sit there and visualize, like close your eyes and visual, and that's pretty much the thing. Like you sit there and you actually visualize your life. And one of the biggest things I still got from him is attitude and effort.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it doesn't matter what the fuck happens to you.
That was big
or what
at middle
happens.
school. No, I think that was like a moderate attitude. I don't know where, but
They probably got
It's
it
like-
from Chisholm and
yeah,
carried it down.
probably. Yeah, I
Because he
remember
can
the
like
attitude and effort.
no matter what happens to you, those are the two things you're in charge of.
Yeah.
It's good things or bad things. It's your attitude, how do you react to it, and your effort. Like you can give half-ass. You can give half-ass when shit's going bad. You can give half-ass. Like it's just like
That makes all the difference. You know, if you go full hard every time, it makes all the difference.
that's yeah. Those I feel like those probably been the two biggest. Like in my
He was a good inspiration. Like
yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Even after like practice, he'd find a way to tie in practice to real life. It's like you can't even remember the play from the huddle to the line of scrimmage. Like how do you expect to
do something
be able to do something with your life?
Yeah,
It's like discipline. It's not just like here on the football field, but it's also in your life. Like
It's just-
discipline to go work out, discipline to go.
It's a representation
stuff.
of life. Like a lot of stuff are representation of like real life things that you have to go through, right?
Yeah.
If you can't do something like here in a game, how are you gonna do it in the real life? You know, how are you gonna apply it there?
Yeah, it's a. I mean, I'm telling you, like those guys, I thought they were like on a different
Level.
Those are the teachers we needed, like
Yeah.
when they're like
Yep.
for young kids, like when
A lot of the
especially high school,
non-traditional
like dude,
teachers,
I
I
mean,
think.
you're out just doing stupid
And
shit.
the thing is, you don't realize it until years after.
Yeah.
Years after,
Like,
you're just
and when
damn.
you're there in the moment, you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Think you're
go-
too cool or
yeah.
something.
That's
Not
the thing.
humble
You have the too cool thing going. That I mean, we all did.
The typical thing or whatever, or not. It might not even be that, but just you really just honestly don't care because they don't captivate you then, and not like that. You know, you're like, oh, I should have like
I should have done this. Should have done that.
this. I should have done that.
enough.
But
Yep.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
You
it's
two,
like- it
Harrison,
looks like
Harrison
the-
Chisholm, we're looking for you.
Yeah, Chisholm. It looks like the night crawled upon
Crawled
us
up
already.
quick, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Crawled up quick.
Yeah, so I'm happy for this podcast. Hopefully next I get to be on again with maybe other topics, other
We'll get
subjects.
some other stuff going on
Yep,
later down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy you guys are doing this. Hopefully you guys have other cool speakers.
Other
I'm
cool
happy.
stuff.
Yep, I'm happy that you're doing this.
They're happy to have you
And
on
you
here
guys,
too.
thanks,
Happy to have
and
you
you guys,
on.
and you guys took the initiative because that takes a lot.
Yeah,
'Cause,
so
like,
we're here.
It's always in Spanish, el que dirán, like what are they gonna say about me?
Yeah.
Like, and you shouldn't care what they say about
Live
me.
by people. You're addicted to people's response to you.
Responses, yep. So I'm glad
Well,
you guys
we're
took
here.
the initiative and did this.
Yeah, we're here.
Seems
We're
like a really good project. It can, help a lot of people, or maybe just at least entertain them, right? Help
Yeah.
and entertain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing. Help people along the road with the stuff that we even know. Is I pick and choose, but yeah. And where could people find you? Because I mean, you help you out with some some stuff.
I'm on Facebook and I do a lot of my car marketing there. It's just Vic Mendez Macias there.
Rooming. What is it? Rooming Vic.
Yeah, so I started, I think branding is important,
Yeah,
you
I
tell-
like
you,
it, I
you
like
sell
it.
yourself, so Rooming Vic, let me help you find your dream vehicle. You can find me on Facebook. Instagram is Vic is Sick all together, and those are mainly the ones I use. That's the best way to get them.
Okay, sounds good, man. Well, I appreciate you guys being on. We'll be back soon. Thanks for your time.
See you guys.
Underestimated, we the one. the darkness, I rose up.